Thank you, Dr. Sankar. Now we'll go to Engineer Deepthi Sumansekara. We will be taking on SDG goals, list 6, clean water and sanitation. Just while you get ready, I think if you look at the SDG scorecard, we really see for the SDG 7, Sri Lanka is being assessed for in stagnating while we move on to 2030. So it should be interesting to see with all the carbon policies in place. Looks like we need to be acting more on putting policy into action. And for SDG 6, it's really moderately improving. So that's a global assessment of Sri Lankan performance with the data that we have. And the situation with respect to Sri Lanka, we do our own tracking, and you can find that in sdg.lk2, which really demands that our commitments to share data and support evidence-based decision making. Yes, Deep, you have your 10 minutes.
Good evening to everybody. Being a basic need, water has been always playing a very prominent role in any development agenda in the world. And also, we cannot segregate sanitation from water because both subjects the sectors are going ahead hand in hand. So definitely we need to address the whole sector, including water and sanitation. So when we look at the options available in our country to supply drinking water to the nation, that's okay. There are options available to provide drinking water to the Sri Lankan population. More than 50% are now provided with pipe-borne water supply, whereas most of the rural areas are depending on the point sources. And very recently we have been adding more technology, especially the nano filtration and desalinated water also into the system. That top corner photo is on the desalination plant installed at Delft Island in Jaffna. And very soon, within about 2-3 years time, we will be supplying the entire Jaffna population with desalinated water. And about the sanitation, there are various options available, but the coverage through the piped sewerage is quite small, around 2% of the population, and majority are still depending on the point or their individual latrines, and maybe they are connected to a kind of pit on the ground, and or either pit or a septic tank, which require to be desludged every now and then. What I need to highlight here is that we don't consider these pit latrines or ventilated improved pit latrines as a kind of acceptable solution, whereas our neighboring countries also still they are counting this type of toilets in computing their coverage figures. And before this SDG came, we have been following the MDG, Millennium Development Goal. Under goal number 7, there had been 7.8 and 7.9, which concentrating on this providing improved drinking water and improved sanitation with given targets, 84 and 84.5% by 2015. But we achieved that target well in advance. And even today's figures are much higher, around 92% in water, and again another 92% in sanitation as well. Only the point here is that the pipe sewerage, still the coverage is very, very marginal, 2.2%. And we are planning to reach 100% coverage on water and sanitation both by 2030. And when these sustainable development goals were introduced under goal number 6, the sanitation and water has been categorized under goal number 6, whereas 6.1 and 6.2 talk about universal achievement on drinking water and sanitation, while paying special attention to women, children, and the other needy societies. And 6.3 talk about the water quality, which is required or else the fit for the purpose. And 6.4 and 6.4 is water use efficiency to minimize the wastages. And 6.5, the most difficult thing, integrated water resources management. And 6.6 is the restoring water-related ecosystem for the benefit of the environment. And again, 6.7a and 6.7b, they provide the provisions to support external agencies in the sector to the developing countries who have wanted the assistance, and also improving or the strengthening the communities to manage their own services. So when the SDG the SDG came into play the main role, so they allowed all the countries to define the degree of the service level of water and sanitation. So in Sri Lanka, we have agreed that we will be providing water accessible, available, sufficient when needed, and also free from contamination. And with regard to sanitation, we do not consider other options like pit latrines anymore, and water seals facilities may be connected to either septic tank or a pit, which would not contaminate the groundwater. And also there should be some safe disposal mechanism available on disposing the sludge, which will be removed from time to time from these septic tanks and pits. And of course, the removal of providing household sanitation through sewer network is a kind of long way. And there's a special attention is given on this hand washing facility in every sanitation facility established. So we need to help people climbing this service ladder, starting from no service to unimproved, then limited and basic service, and finally reaching the very well safely managed drinking water services. Similarly, in sanitation, until they reach, we need to promote them until they reach safely managed sanitation services. So what are the challenges in our engineering field? The first thing is that water resources we know that the water resources are diminishing, and there are many issues with the availability. So we need to pay our attention on water resources development, new reservoirs in the sense on ground, on surface reservoirs, and groundwater recharging. We are extracting water from ground for our domestic and other various purposes, but we never treat or recharge the groundwater. So why not we start something like there should be it should be possible that we can recharge groundwater. There are a lot of empty aquifers or large, huge dry trucks available underground. So whenever we have rains or excessive rain, we can start diverting that rainwater into those aquifers so that we can later on we can extract whenever needed. And also the need to promote the rainwater harvesting technology. We need to do that in a domestic level, and also need to assure the water quality. Water quality in the sense that most of the rural people are still using the well water, and we need to ensure their well water quality is fit enough for human drinking, and that kind of thing that we need to work out some mechanism. And also in the in developed countries, mostly they use the principle of polluter to pay. They pay more attention on treating wastewater than treating drinking water. Here what happens is we let everybody to pollute water, then spend enormous amount of money on treating drinking water. So that we need to change that kind of thing, and then promote water saving technologies and recycling and reuse that everybody know. And this is something new. Then we need to look for alternative sources like seawater desalination. That probably that you will see good results when Water Board commissions Jaffna Peninsula water supply from seawater, which is proposed to produce around 25,000 cubic meters per day good desalination. And also the hard water. We don't use much hard water in our water treatment plant. So if you can use softening this hard water, we can make it fit for the human consumption. And also humidity. We have a very high humidity, 60-70%. Can we convert this humidity into water? That somebody can research on it. And also the waterless technique. Kind of can we clean things like the cars, or I do dish or anything with high pressure jet or something. So without wasting water. And also value of water is reducing. Nobody would believe it, but I'm saying that is that, for example, one good example is that Water Board could not increase its tariff since 2012. It remains as it is for last 9 years, whereas all the other goods and other the prices are going up. So which means that value of water going down against the inflation line. So we need to match all this. And also some innovative low-cost technologies in lesser footprint in the sense that we don't have much land now. So in urban cities that we need to somehow compress all this treatment, the plants into a very small area. And then because of the time limitation, I'm not going to talk much on the rest of the things. And also there are general issues. Only one thing I want to highlight, the program repetition in sanitation facilities. Remember that unlike other facilities, when we provide a sanitation facility for a rural poor, that reaches dilapidated condition within about 10-15 years. We may have to repeat the program once again if they are still poor. So with that kind of that much, I will conclude my presentation. I took a couple of minutes extra. I'm sorry.